People waiting.
Hello and welcome to Halftime Live. It's currently West Ham United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0 at the Boleyn Ground, the last ever time that them two will meet at our historic venue. Gonzo, Bilic played a bit of a blinder from the word go with his formation. It's almost like a three centre-backs, two wing-backs, two centre midfielders, two attacking midfielders and a striker. Have you ever heard of that formation?
I've never. He's tactically bamboozled me, which means he's absolutely tactically bamboozled Pinocchio.
He certainly has. Charlie, have you been impressed with the way Bilic has set the side up tonight? No one, like we said, no one saw it coming. And it took me about 5-10 minutes to realise what the formation actually was.
Yeah, big time. I was worried. I was worried about Antonio at right back because he did have a good game against Blackburn, but that's Blackburn. This is a team possibly challenging for the title. So I was a bit worried. And as you brought up, we always have problems with wingers. They seem to just get us massively. So I was a bit worried about Antonio, but as you said, no one saw this coming, and bringing Cheikh so deep that he's almost playing as another centre back and allowing Antonio to be a kind of wing back type thing has worked absolutely perfectly. And it's allowed Antonio to continue being the attacking threat that he has been for the last couple of games, which is absolutely perfect.
Gonzo, do you think Spurs are quite poor in centre midfield, considering we've only got two centre midfielders? Do you not think that's an area they should be dominating, given Bilic's setup?
No, I mean, listen, we've got to give ourselves a little pat on the back. We called it in the preview. We said that if they were missing Dembele, Ali, players like that, then they would struggle. And I think Noble is playing an absolute blinder. I mean, he keeps getting better. I mean, he really does. And to be fair, I think, maybe not the formation. It's also pretty much what Tom called. It's a team that Tom suggested we should play. And, is Chiate a right back or a right-sided centre back? Who knows? But I mean, I think we pretty much predicted this, to be honest with you. And I think Mason looks like he's certainly struggled. And then he limped off for some treatment, getting injured. The centre backs have had to sort of make up for the defensive, for the midfield deficiencies, and they've picked up bookings. Actually, they're quite dirty, Spurs.
There's been a game of very few chances. While West Ham have had 7 shots, there's not been many clear chances. Spurs have yet to have a shot at a goal in the first 45 minutes. Charlie, does that not surprise you, considering our home form and Spurs' away form?
It surprises me, but our greatest successes this season have come from when we have scored early and then have been able to completely, when we score early, we're able to dominate a hell of a lot more than we are in other cases, because we're not trying to rush things, we're not trying to push things. So when we scored, it almost as if now the onus is on Tottenham. If it wasn't already before, now it's completely on them. And so what we saw was continuous. Payet and Lanzini have been brilliant. And Mark Noble, and this is something you said as well, about him all of a sudden finding his shooting boots, is continuously finding acres of space just outside the area to hit pile drivers constantly. And I think that sort of counter-attacking flair, that sort of being able to dominate games without, despite being supposedly the lesser team, that we saw at the beginning of the season against teams like City, has come back, and it's kind of glorious to watch.
Gonzo, right at the end there, the crowd were wanting a red card for Wimmer. To me, it was yellow. I think the referee got it spot on. What did you make of that one when he dragged Emenike down?
Yeah, it was a bit too deep and a bit too wide for my liking, for it to be, a goal. It wasn't a goal-scoring opportunity, unless you Zlatan Ibrahimovic from against England when he played for Sweden. It's just not from out there. I do think Emenike looks to be having his best game. If we got to discount Blackburn, a lesser opposition, Emenike really looks to be. He looks fitter and he looks sharper. So really interesting dynamic, and he's got the two lads on the bench to put a bit of pressure on him as well. So yeah, I mean, I think the referee's been okay today.
Gonzo, do you think one of the reasons Emenike's looked good is because Spurs are too focused on Dimitri Payet? He is surrounded by players, and it's allowing Noble, etc., to have that space on the edge of the area, and Payet's just using it perfectly. He's just standing still, letting himself get surrounded, and he's picking out his players. Do you think Tottenham are too focused on our usual starlet?
Well, if they are too focused and they have devised special tactics for Payet, they're blatantly not working, because he's getting on the ball all the time. He's doing his stuff. He's arguably more involved than he's been for quite a few weeks, actually, in the game. And I mean, they're lucky that free kick was as far out as it was, because it was just a little bit out of his range. I think Valencia, if he'd have been on the pitch, would have had a go from there, actually. I mean, Payet would have taken it at all. But yeah, whatever tactics they're employing are not working. He's looking to release Cresswell on the overlap, as you say. Noble looks to be joining the attack from. He's almost, dare I say, he's almost playing like Paul Scholes at the moment. Mark Noble. He's doing a little bit of tackling. He's playing 1-2s. He's linking the play, and he's timing his runs to arrive late to hit shots. Absolutely fantastic. Really impressed with him. And also, Ogbonna. My goodness, you can see why we paid the money for him. He's really turned into an excellent centre back. I'm very, very happy with him. Reed's sitting on the bench, must be thinking, wow, Collins is getting his head on everything. Ogbonna's playing like one of the best centre backs in the league. Reed's probably thinking, how do I get back in this team?
Let's talk a little bit about our opponents, Tottenham Hotspur then. Charlie, this Tottenham side we're playing tonight, do you think it's getting to them a little bit and G'd up our own crowd, the fact that if they win tonight, they go top of the league?
It's difficult to call. I think we've seen a lot of people, a lot of Spurs fans, especially during the week, talking about how it's a rival big game for us, but it's not for them. And it's one of those things where you always look at the teams above you. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're looking at Arsenal, but let's be honest, I don't think Arsenal are too worried about them most seasons. I think, at least maybe not until this stage, but they look a little bit shook, and I think the change of the two defensive midfielders has been, the lack of those, the two that we've brought up already, Dele Alli and Dembele, has been a huge loss for them, because it is those spaces where we're dominating, and it's the space where you need those people to be there in order to dominate. And I think our crowd are amazingly up for it from the word go. They've been singing and chanting, and for a Tottenham perspective, this is when a team that could possibly win a title really need to pull something out of the bag, because everything is against them right now.
Gonzo, what do you make of that? Tottenham, 17 points from losing positions this season, the highest in the league. So if there's any comeback kings out there in the Premier League, it's Tottenham Hotspur. Does that worry you a wee bit?
Well, you're going to, because you worry as a West Ham fan, can this sort of really be happening? Can we really beat Tottenham to go 1 point behind Man United or whatever? I don't know the other results. I've been focused so much on the West Ham match, I don't know what else is sort of going on tonight or anything else for that matter. But I mean, you do worry. You sort of want to celebrate. I'm ecstatic. We played so well. I mean, this formation, where's it come from? We are really, really playing well. But as part of a West Ham fan who's used to bad news, you almost, I mean, listen, if we win when that final whistle goes, I'll be celebrating. I mean, my wife will be sending me outside so I don't wake the baby up. You know, I mean, I cheered when Antonio scored. These are fantastic times. But Tottenham, that's not a great team. That you know, they're better than the sum of their parts. But my goodness, if that team wins the league, doesn't say much for the league, I don't think.
I think though, you have to bear in mind, when we went with Payet and Lanzini, we gave that excuse. They're missing, well, they've got 4 first-team players not playing tonight, 5 actually, if you include Vertonghen as well. So they've got essentially 5 first-team players not in that 11. Charlie, their centre-backs are both on booking, Wimmer and Alderweireld. Is that something we must target in the second half? It's getting a bit cagey. The crowd are up for it. They're getting on Tottenham's back. It makes it very difficult as a footballer when you've got noisy home fans. The referees feeling pressured, I think. It was starting to get a bit tasty towards the end. Now, their centre-backs are both on the yellow cards. Is that something that we could see cheerio, mate, in the second half?
It could be, and it's something, again, I've brought up before. When we are playing counter-attacking, when we are playing this really, really quick counter-attacking football, and we are so dangerous down the sides, teams don't know how to deal with us. They haven't all season. The Matic red card against Chelsea was a prime example of that. When we are in full flow, teams can't deal with us, so they just pull us back. Wimmer did it like so blatantly, and he knew exactly what he was doing. He looked down the line when he did it to make sure he wasn't the last man. And if we continue with the pace that we have in the first half, then it would not surprise me to see at least 1 red card in this game through something stupid like that.
Gonzo, what do Tottenham do? You might not know Tottenham's strengths, but you know West Ham's weaknesses. So what should Pochettino be trying to do in the second half to get his side in this? They've had no shots at goal. He needs something to unsettle the home fans. He needs something to cause a bit of disrest in the West Ham side. What do Spurs do?
Well, I'd rather not say in case Pochettino's watching this. You know, you don't know where the broadcast is going. I'd probably attack down a flank. It's got to be the flank. I mean, there was earlier on they linked up. I think Eriksen got through with Trippier, got through past Cresswell. So I think Cresswell He's playing really well going forward, but I think he could probably be targeted defensively. But you know what? Let's not discount us. It's all very well having special tactical plans for Payet, but at the moment he's skipped past one man. That tactical plan's gone because then he's past a man and there are other guys free. And if there's anybody capable of skipping past someone, it's Payet. And let's be honest, if they do that and they don't focus on Lanzini, he is very capable of doing something. Antonio, Mike Noble, we have got a real threat going forward. So they can't attack with sort of gay abandon, if you want. And also, if they do bring Ali on as a desperate measure, he's niggly. He's a red card waiting to happen. So he could join in with the rest of them in the referee's book.
Charlie, are you confident? Do we need the clean sheet to win the game, or do you think we could go on and score another and get the 3 points anyway?
I'm fully confident we could go on and score another. I think this is the best performance we've put in for quite a while. We look dominant and we look very, very dangerous from a number of positions. We all know that Lanzini and Payet can pull something out of nowhere, but when you've got the likes of Antonio bombing forward and Cresswell bombing forward to put balls in the box, you've got Carroll on the bench, you've got Mark Noble hitting it from far, Pedro Obiang's passing has been great in the first half, apart from that one dodgy one. I think we look dangerous from everywhere, and so if Spurs do score, my worry is that they would kill on, but we are more than capable of getting second.
Fantastic. Well, it's almost time for the second half over at Upton Park. We've been Hammers Chat. I've been Charlie Gonzo and Gio. If you're wanting the match report straight after the game, pop on to claret&hugh.info. If you want to talk with your fellow West Ham fans, pop on to hammerschat.boards.net. We'll be looking forward to hearing your views, whether you're West Ham, Tottenham or a neutral. Want to hear all your oppositions. We'll be back tonight straight away as fast as we can with the match review, hopefully celebrating 3 points for West Ham and hopefully keeping Tottenham off the top spot. Thank you for watching.